I got a thing for the finer things. What's going on, Jerome's? The Vikings are one of the finer things in the NFL season thus far. 5-0 off of the bye. Cabo on 3. 1, 2, 3, Cabo. Actually, I prefer Cancun. Cabo, the water's never warm. It's almost like the Pacific's always cold or something. Anyways, but the Vikings take on the Lions in the matchup of the season thus far for supremacy in the NFC North division. That is the wrong graphic. Nailed it. So the Vikings 5-0, Lions allegedly 4-1. Congratulations for beating a terrible Cowboys team and a terrible Seahawks team that was decimated by injury. Thumbs up. Good times, man. But Vikings and Lions, it's going to be huge. It's going to be epic. Historic U.S. Bank Stadium, Sunday. So here are 10 keys for the Vikings to get a win on Sunday. Numero uno, don't give the ball away. Give it away now. So the Vikings, despite having the bye, they're still 29th in the NFL in turnovers with 9. They do have 13 takeaways on defense, which is fantastic, but it just comes down to Darnold not giving the ball away as well as ball security. Just that Ty Chandler fumble against the Jets just completely decimated the momentum, and momentum is real, as I've talked about before, and it really does come down to Kevin O'Connell, Darnold not pushing things too much. I do think that was just a symptom of the Jets game and the uniqueness because, Darnold Jets, Kevin O'Connell Jets. I do think that there was some psychological manifestation there where the Vikings just tried too hard, tried to do too much, but don't give the ball away. And also, clean up special teams. We don't have that listed as a 10, but that's also one of them too. I know the coach had his presser this week. So I'm a little bit worried. Right, but got to get things squared away. But hang on to the damn football because I know that Kevin O'Connell says that they emphasize hanging on to the rock, but it just hasn't come together. But if you're going to do that, Flores and company on defense, they got to take it away. Take it away now. Next up, number 2, no rust. So early bye week is a bit of a double-edged sword because it's good to heal up some injuries, even though it seemed like the Vikings were more injured coming off the bye. What the hell happened in Cancun, man? But they can't have any rust. They can't rest on their laurels like, 5-0, that's fantastic. But also, think about the Lions, right? So big time win in prime time against the Seahawks, and then they went down and, avenged last year's alleged loss against the Cowboys, whatever. But it does feel like they certainly could have a bit of an emotional hangover, right? And the Vikings, they got to come out fast, they got to come out quick, and they got to keep the crowd engaged. Hopefully U.S. Bank Stadium isn't half 49ers fans, which would be great. But, this is the biggest regular season home game in years, right? This is definitely going to be a heavyweight fight. So keeping the crowd engaged and just coming out fast and executing and, just not thinking about it. It's like, the Lions, they're a fun, fast, physical team, but so are the Vikings, right? All right. Number 3, Darnold takes what's there. So, like we said, just felt like there was a little bit of pressing from Slinging Sam Darnold, a.k.a. America's quarterback, in the Jets game, especially that second half. But also, even though he didn't look great in the second half against the Jets, as well as same thing against the Packers, he and the offense did sack up and put together a drive at the end to really seal things, which is great. And there potentially could be a lot there on Sunday because, Aiden Hutchinson, hopefully that injury heals up and he resumes his Pro Bowl All-Pro career. But Aiden Hutchinson was the Lions' pass rush. He had 45 pressures, roughly 40% of the Lions' total pressure output. So if Darnold's going to have more time, that means that more time is going to be available downfield for the receivers to marinate. So I think that this could be a really damn good game, really damn good opportunity for the Vikings passing game to put up some legit numbers, especially since, the Lions have 2 solid safeties in Brian Branch, who's a superstar, and then dirty Kirby Joseph. But Carlton Davis might miss. He missed practice over the last 2 days. We'll see what happens on Friday. Rookie Terry Arnold is solid, but he's a rookie. Then Amik Robertson in the slot I got respect for, but if Davis is out, you're going to be starting, Ennis Rakestraw, the rookie, or Kendall Vildor. So it could be some yum time for Justin friggin' Jefferson. Speaking of Justin friggin' Jefferson, next up, number 4. Jefferson owns the Lions again. Now I think he's going to get back on pace for JJ2K. Jets 2K, right? He averages 134 yards per game in his 8 contests against the Lions. And like we said, cornerback 1 Carlton Davis could be out, so it could be feasting time for Darnold and Jefferson. And with Darnold, it did seem like he was pressing a little bit too much, and maybe he's just trying to force things to Justin Jefferson, which understandable. Like, you're a quarterback, you're getting your shot, you have the best receiver in the game, and you want to get him the ball, right? But I do think that Kevin O'Connell needs to scheme Jefferson open better, and he's talked about that in his recent press conferences. But also, I mean, if it's not there, it's not there, right? Just take what's underneath. You can't go broke taking a profit, whether it's Addison, whether it's Jalen Speedy Naylor, whether it's Munt, maybe outside chance of Hawkinson is back, who knows. Next up, number 5, someone run the damn ball. All right, so the Vikings, in terms of a running the ball, the offensive line has done a pretty damn solid job, right? And also, of course, Aaron Jones has been amazing. He's been a stud. But, of course, that hip/hamstring/ass injury from the Jets game, it's lingering. He did practice in a limited fashion on Thursday. We'll see what happens on Friday. But I think that there's a very good chance that Jones doesn't go, and if he does, he won't be at 100%, right? So this is a spot where Ty Chandler has to step up. I know that he hasn't looked consistently good at times this year, but can we just have a 2023 Bengals game performance one time? Or there's a reason why they traded for Cam Akers, and his experience with the scheme will allow him to hit the ground running, pun intended. So the Vikings do have to be able to run the ball, wear out that Detroit Lions front 7, as well as keep play action viable for Sling and Sam Darnold. So they have to get something going up front. Next up, number 6, trick Jared Goff. So you know, Brian Flores is just licking his chops. Like he's just waiting to show Jared Goff a bunch of looks, confuse him, and just really get after things, right? And his quarterback rating drops 37.2 points when he's pressured. And also, last 2 games, he hasn't really had to do much. I mean, I know that everyone's creaming in their jeans like, oh, he went 18 of 18 against Seattle. Good job on your extended handoffs. And the team has had leads over the last couple games, but What happens when the Vikings get out to their customary 17, 24, 28-point lead in the first half, and Goff has to throw, and the Vikings pass rush with that crowd behind them, third down for what, can really pin their ears back and get after things. All right, so I do think it's going to be yum time for the Vikings defense, and even though Cashman likely going to be out, Grugier Hill's going to be stepping in perfectly fine. Ivan Pace Jr. be wearing the green dot. Hopefully he can get after things more. And then Van Ginkel, Grenard, Hottie, Patrick Jones, everyone. I feel like, how about a Dallas Turner breakout game? Dallas Turner, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss type game, maybe strip sack in there. Don't know, man. But major respect for the Lions' offensive line. But you have to be able to make a little bit of hay against them. And the Vikings have done that against some very damn solid offensive lines so far this season. Notably the Packers, notably the Texans, as well as the 49ers. Next up, number 7. Stop Sonic and Knuckles. Now, I dislike how much I do enjoy the Sonic and Knuckles nickname for Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. But, I mean, the Lions, they're not going to trick you, trick plays aside. But they want to run the ball. They are a meat and potatoes team. And they're even with the bye, they're 4th in the league in rushing yards with 789 total for a team. They're number 2 in rushing touchdowns with 9. And it really is a unstoppable force meets an immovable object, because the Vikings defense has been solid against the run this season. They're 4th in the league, allowing only 3.8 yards per carry, so something has to give. And also, if you factor in game script, I mean, what the Vikings offense against a depleted Lions defense, no Aiden Hutchinson, probably no Carlton Davis, all of a sudden they build up a couple score lead. Are they just going to keep running the ball? I understand you're the best running team in the game, but, I mean, if you're down 21 real quick, I mean, you got to be able to throw. And that's where Flores is going to make it some dough against Jared Goff. Next up, number 8. Anyone but Amon-Ra. So major respect for Amon-Ra St. Brown. For my money, he's probably the best slot receiver in the game. He really is. And so far this season, 31 catches, 289, and 3 touchdowns. Named first team All-Pro last year, rightfully so. And anyone else, whether it's Jamison Williams, well, how much Jamo deep. Khalif Raymond, Dan Skipper lined up at wide receiver. Doesn't matter, right? And it could be a spot, too, where the Vikings have played predominantly zone again this season, but it could be a spot where they might have to break that. And whether it's Murph, whether it's Gilmore shadowing Amon-Ra all over the place, the Vikings may have to go a little bit more press man in this game and really take care of things. Lastly, number 9, nailed it. Kevin O'Connell off the bye. So that's a hallmark of great coaches is how do you do off the bye when you have an extra week to prepare. Andy Reid was always great against the bye. Same thing with Bill Belichick. Kevin O'Connell, 2-0 off the byes. Although the bye last year was the Raiders' 3-0 win. So I don't know if that counts. Actually, no, you are what your record says you are. But, I mean, this is a big one. And O'Connell and Flores, they've known. The Lions are big, bad, and it's going to be a tough physical game, right? They've had 2 weeks to prepare for the Lions. You've seen the carnage that the Lions have wrought against the Seahawks and the Cowboys. Oh, the national media all up in that ass, but off the bye, got to be flying high, right? The offense has to be clicking. The defense is going to be on point, and just frame of mind. Mentally, it's good that you're 5-0. Let's get to 6-0. Lastly, number 10, play your game, not theirs. Right, and the Lions, I feel like they're definitely holding to Dan Campbell's mantra of biting kneecaps. They are a tough physical team. Some people may say dirty. That's not for me to say, right? But you can't be playing their game. Right, so mentally you got to hold things together. You can't be out here taking swings because they always call the guy who fights back. Don't stoop to their level and just play your game. Right, the Vikings, the Lions get this reputation for being tough and physical. So are the Vikings, putting an emphasis on physicality this season. So go out there, put up points defensively. Show all the disguises in the world to Jared Goff. Get after things, shut down the run, and you'll be good to go. Final score prediction. So I know that everyone and their mom is all on the Lions, but there's a reason why the Vikings are favored in this game, right? So it's 2.5, 1.5 in some spots now, but it's okay. If people want to believe the hype of the Lions, that's fine. People don't understand that the Vikings have run the gauntlet, literally. So many people are talking about the first 5 games as a schedule of death. Vikings were perfectly fine, and they got things done. They got some wins against tough teams, some impressive wins, and some grit your teeth and get things done in the second half type wins. This one, obviously, they don't take the Lions lightly. And coming off the bye, I think they're coming in with their hair on fire. I think Slinging Sam Darnold looks like an MVP candidate again. I think Justin friggin' Jefferson explodes for one of his standard Lions games. I'm talking 12 for 210 and 3. Huge, monstrous. I do think they're able to run the ball, whether it's Jones, whether it's Chandler, whether it's Akers. Defensively, I think that they build up a lead against the Lions early, and then it's just an avalanche. The running game is negated, and then Jared Goff has to throw, and that's not going to be his game. I think the Vikings put Goff on the turf at least half a dozen times, and they come out of this with a very, very impressive 38-22 win. But that's it. Let us know your thoughts. What are your keys for victory? What's your final score prediction? Let us know in the comments section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.